Hello. Oh, wow. And we've got a blurry background as well. Boom. How are you? Can you hear me okay? You're connecting your audio still, it says. I'm just here to make your life challenging. Sorry. I can't hear you as of yet.
How
You're
about
not.
now?
And now we can. Yay!
Yay! That deserves celebration.
100%. Welcome. It's so awesome. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your time again.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me back.
No, it's also now at least we can have clear, stable audio. So what I love about with this setup now is we use the note-taking option, and then it gets really, really cool. It just literally copy, paste, model, check, read, and then post. So I want to give you a
That makes it
slightly
easy for
longer
you.
description. Pardon? Absolutely. Now you don't want me typing descriptions. It's not good. So So shall we just run this like from the beginning again? Are you happy with that? And then anything that you want to touch on?
Yeah, I think, we'll go back and try to recreate it
Yeah,
to the best of our
100%.
ability.
To the best of our, and those are darn fine abilities. You won't believe it. We're live. We're live.
Oh,
Okay.
already.
I hit the go live button. Well, there we go. So let's go again. And I think we need a little bit of this as well. Let's go. And
You ready? Let's go!
by the way, did you hear any of that music?
A little bit.
Okay, epic. All right, good. Cool. So, Syl, welcome back. We are going to pretend like this is the first time we've done this, but we did this before, but there was an echo. At least now there's no echo. It's amazing what happens when you play around with settings to see what's going to happen. And then, by the way, Steph, the podcast that you watched, she's just joined us. What did you think of that, huh?
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. I love listening to other lifters all over the world. It's so awesome. I think what you're doing is such a great thing for people to share their stories. And I appreciate what you're doing and how
Thank
you're
you.
trying to grow the sport for us. So it's much appreciated. So good job.
It's my
Do you
thank you.
get
That's
a
very
beep beep beep
okay.
beep beep?
Um, by the way, I did something wrong. Hey Google, make everything red because I was wearing this for the Fundalindas. There we go. Because obviously it's Canada, I've got to go red on everything. So I think that's only appropriate. Hey Google, make the studio lights candlelight. At least you can see me. All right. So yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
love chatting to Steph because she's a new lifter. She's a young lifter. But man, what an amazing attitude. Finding the sport because you wanted to get stronger and finding the sport because you wanted to develop a passion for what your body could do, not what it looked like, and you wanted to find a way to connect with your body. How power is that? So
That's
speaking of
so
finding the sport.
interesting.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, but I just need to piggyback off that because just today I wrote down
Mm.
when exercise becomes more of how it makes you feel and less about how it makes you look, you will not turn back. So I
Wow.
love that she said that.
Hang on. We need. That's power. Yeah. It's spot on, right? And it's
Hmm.
not punishment for what you ate,
That's right.
and we really have to understand that and we have to be able to connect to that. So tell us a little bit about how you found powerlifting, how you found the sport.
As I just post on Instagram that I'm live right now.
Okay, good. Please go ahead. Yeah, you're on time. I'm an hour wrong. I can't believe I
That's
really
okay.
thought I had that figured out. But did I miss daylight savings time?
You know what? You did. It happened last weekend, so you're
Okay.
forgiven. And I'm just happy I was here and ready to go.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. And a big shout out to both Ruben and his dad, Glenn, for not knowing how to connect with the link. So I'm going to go through and visit them in person. But
Oh, I
yeah,
think that's wonderful.
yeah, that's
Um,
really cool.
that's great. Yeah, how I found powerlifting. I actually didn't even know anything about the sport, and I just wanted to get in shape and just live a healthy lifestyle. I had lost that healthy balance. I'd gained some weight, and when I think back now, I was probably gaining weight. Not necessarily anything that I like did in terms of like eating excessively and not working out because I was doing all those things, but I was probably premenopausal and just wanted to try to do something different. So I took a class at my local gym that was more of like a CrossFit style programming, and it
Hmm.
had strength components of it with the deadlift and squats, and then there was some Olympic lifting too. Um, wasn't necessarily a fan with anything over head, over shoulder, above shoulder height, but loved how, in particular, deadlifts made me feel. And I asked the coach, I'm like, yeah, I want to get stronger. What else can I do? And so he ended up putting together a program for me. And then maybe about 3, 4 months in, he's like, you need to compete. And I'm like, compete in what? He's
Hashtag
like,
no pressure.
no pressure. He's like, Olympic lifting, powerlifting. So I looked up what powerlifting was, and it really appealed to me. Those three lifts, which are squat, bench, and deadlift. And so, yeah, maybe about 4 months into my program, I entered my first local meet. Didn't know anything really about competition. I remember being so nervous and even my hair was shaking. I remember being under that bar and all I can see was my hair doing this. And you know what? I put forth my best effort and I actually won my first local meet.
That's absolutely
Who would
epic.
ever think?
Well done, well done, well done. Yeah.
And you know what? I like to say winning is fun, right? So I just kept going.
Okay. And you haven't
Seven
stopped
years
since.
later, I have not stopped. 7 years later, even through COVID, I remember actually somewhat getting depressed when everything shut down. And little by little, I was building my own home gym. So before you know it, I was able to do what I needed to do, not necessarily at the
Hmm.
weight, but at least I kept lifting, which was great. So
That's awesome. When I said to you that you haven't stopped, I didn't mean you haven't stopped competing. I mean you haven't stopped winning. So
oh oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just riding this wave, this high, this energy, whatever it is, I'm just embracing it and just following whatever path this is leading me to, which is some amazing things. Like, we just came back from nationals and representing Team Ontario. So I wore my Ontario t-shirt today.
epic, very cool. So I mean the previous conversation was called Road to National, so it's only appropriate.
Yes. So coming back from
Mm.
nationals, and it actually was my best meet ever,
Okay. Tell
which
us more,
is
please.
incredible. So it's so interesting. I've been writing down goals and things that I want to achieve. And I remember when I was at a heavier weight class, I was 10 pounds heavier when I first started the sport. And I had a goal of entering the 1,000-pound club. That's a
Okay.
thing when you add up all your totals for those three lifts. And yes, I talk in pounds sometimes. So I go back between kilos and pounds. Uh, I know in powerlifting we lift in kilos, but entering the 1,000-pound club, it's a cool thing. It's a flex, right? It's a
It's a
flex.
boss flex, absolutely.
So I was able to do that at when I was a lifter at the 76 kilo weight
Mm,
class, and I dropped down to 69 kilo weight class, and this was my first meet. So I've been at this weight for about a year now, actually,
okay.
and so I was able to hit 1,007 pounds with the
Wow.
total lifts of the three. So I was so happy. Yeah, I was
That, but that's
really,
epic, huh?
really happy.
Sure.
Yeah, to be almost at the same strength ability, 10 pounds lighter. And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of lifting heavy in the sport of powerlifting. So it's exciting.
It's
And
you
yes,
got to lift heavy.
you do. You do, as you, especially as you age, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but at nationals, yeah, I was able to win my third national title, which is pretty, I love your word, epic.
My two favorite words in the whole world are epic and awesome.
Epic and awesome. Yeah, so and then I didn't expect this award, but I won Best Lifter based on my age category. So regardless of weight
Mm.
class, I was able to get the Best Lifter award, which was pretty epic.
Absolutely epic. I hit the wrong button there. I got me behind us. There we go. That is proper epic. I mean, that's amazing. Like, how incredible is that? And tell us a little bit again about nationals. I mean, how was that? Because seeing the social media posts, the podium with the lighting and the banner and the banners in the background, and the spotters and loaders kits and the multiple platforms, it looked absolutely epic.
Yeah, it was so exciting to see how everyone was coming out and representing their provinces. And it's such a great time for the Canadian powerlifting lifters to get together and see each other and cheer each other on, and just break. I heard a lot of national records being broken, and it's just so exciting to hear year over year and to see how many people, how, just how the sport has grown is just phenomenal. Actually, hold on. It's just epic.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely. What do you think it
Yeah.
is that's been driving that incredible growth and that amazing support?
I think it's, I think it's quite contagious to watch people just show up and give their best effort and
Mm-hmm.
see how people can accomplish something so amazing of lifting. You hear people lifting their body weight, which is just amazing. And then,
Yeah.
being able to lift even twice your body weight or two times, and a half your body weight. And
Excuse me.
just seeing people, bless you,
Thank you.
seeing people how they challenge themselves and be able to show up and accomplish their goals. It's exciting. And you want to be part of that. And it's just what's really cool is how objective our sport is too. It's either you can lift it or you can't lift it. And it's just and just to see how everyone cheers for each other, even if you don't even know them. Everybody wants everyone to succeed, even your competitors do too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's not too many sports out there that's like that. So it's actually just just a wonderful, lovely environment to be in.
I
So.
think just the thing really that hits home for me is the support that we show one another, the support that we give our fellow lifter. It amazes me that the people you're competing against, you're wanting to beat you and you're wanting to break your records. So you have to come back and be stronger, and you have to bring 100% of yourself. And I think sort of what I've just realized, and that's why I love chatting to you, because we cover some pretty cool stuff. The fact that you said like the bar is objective, I think the sport is
Mhm.
also objective, where we
Mhm.
know it, you know it's you, and I know it's you, and that way It's you being the best version of you makes me the best version of me.
100%. And I will never forget, um, actually, it was a national record that I broke from one of my competitors out east.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember feeling bad about it, and I'm like, "I'm sorry," and she's like, "That's okay. Records are to be broken. I'm coming to back for it. I'm gonna take it away from you." And I'm like, "Yeah, bring it on."
Epic.
It just adds to it just adds to the fun too, right?
Yeah.
And the joy. Records are to be broken. Even your own record, right? Right now, that's what I'm trying to do is even break just again being that best version of yourself. And the thing about powerlifting, it's like it's for all ages, it's for everyone, regardless of what experience you're at. And it's just finding your true strength potential. And I
Yeah.
remember thinking, when is it going to stop? And I'm like, wait a second, why do I care that when it's going to stop? Don't think that way.
Yeah.
Like the sky's the limit, so they say, right? And eventually, I know as I age, and I'm just hoping to keep lifting until I die.
Yeah.
I think I talked about
Yeah.
that last time, right? The
Yeah.
the the barbell's coming with me.
Yeah. You pack in the barbell. You're going to need a forklift because the whole set's in there, getting buried with the Alico and the platform. So I'm quite sure Elico might come out with that as one of their April Fool's jokes. We've had the fantastic coffee mug. We've had have the Elico coffin where the handles have knurling. You know, 400-pound
Yeah,
coffin or a
I
thousand
think you
pound
gave them
coffin.
an idea.
So there, yeah, you can
A
make the
thousand
1,000-pound
pound.
cup, the 1,000-pound
I
coffin.
like.
Uh, yeah,
I
I
think you
think
need to trademark that.
I think we should the 1,000-pound coffin. I don't know. It's not going to make me very popular with funeral homes, but yeah.
Well, this is true. It's like, who's gonna lift that?
Yeah, power lifters,
Power
obviously.
lifters.
Power lifters, exactly. I think that's you got to get that when you make it into the club. So at least you don't want a
That's right.
1,000-kilo one
Yeah.
because that's just going to be way too much work. So with regards to getting stronger, and again, this is for me. Like I do this because I love hearing people's stories. I set this up a couple of years ago at World Bench when it was in Sun City, and it was so rudimentary. We had some budget mics and a laptop, and we really webcams, and really tried the best that we could, and that's sort of how we started. And I got to chat to some amazing people from around the world and some incredible Canadians, and Brian, as we said last time, said I could chat to him, but it had to be by the pool. But then we had nowhere to clip the microphone to. You couldn't even peel
Mm,
skin because he's so lean. So, but but the thing with getting stronger is it's a way. There's so many benefits. Proving love to yourself, showing yourself that you're taking care of yourself. But if things come off suddenly in your lifting, if you're not getting the numbers, if something's wrong, it shows you that something's wrong. You know, are you not getting the recovery you need, the hydration, the nutrition, the physio, whatever it is? It's very easy for the weight to show you're not looking after yourself in the right way, and you're not being safe and appropriate with yourself.
I love that you said that. And I think, yeah, that's something that we've talked about in the past, how the
Mm.
bar gives you feedback,
Yeah.
right? And I think because we're competing at such high levels and high demands on our body, one of the things that I'm always trying to remember is I have this thing that I'm always talking about the 5 pillars of a
Mm-hmm.
healthy lifestyle. And, sleep. Sleep is number one. If you don't get that proper rest, how does the body even recover, right? And for you to feel like you have the energy to lift whatever your program and whatever your coach has programmed you to do. So you need to get the sleep that's good for you. So people, well, how many hours is that? I think it depends,
Yeah.
right? Everyone is different. Like you can be in bed for 10 hours and still have an unrestful sleep if you're waking up every hour and not getting
Mm.
that deep REM sleep. So I think it's good quality sleep, right? Is critical. And then nutrition being number two. And I know you talked about hydration, and I throw hydration in nutrition, whatever you're putting in your body, right? Gotta, oh, I love that.
Stay hydrated.
I You stay hydrated. I didn't do that. Well, actually, hold on. No, I do
Yeah.
have my water bottle, but I
Okay.
haven't had any because I didn't want to have to go to the bathroom. But
Yeah.
yeah, I walk with this during our little
Everywhere. Yeah.
podcast here. But I
Epic.
walk with a jug, right?
Mm.
I try to get a gallon of water a day and make sure I put my electrolytes in there. So making
Mm.
sure we're able to absorb that water. Because if we don't, it's just going to flush out. And people are like, I can't drink so much water because I'm always running to the
Mm.
bathroom. Well,
There's an
get some
indicator there's a
electrolytes.
problem.
Yeah, there's exactly. So yeah, sleep, nutrition, and it's what we're doing every day as powerlifters,
Yeah.
moving, even if you're not a powerlifter, is getting out there and staying active, staying as mobile as possible, right?
Yeah.
And then you mentioned recovery. Recovery is the fourth pillar that I like to talk about is
Mm-hmm.
making sure that we are stretching and doing the sauna. The sauna I find is so helpful in for the muscles to recover and
Do you
going to
like
physio and
yeah,
chiro. Yeah.
on that point, the traditional or red light sauna or both, or do you have a
Oh,
favorite?
I would love both. I haven't tried
Mm-hmm.
the red light one, but because my gym only has the traditional one, and so yeah, I try to at least 15 to 20 minutes and you work
Mm.
up to it. You can't sit there and do it at one go. But yeah, like I feel like I get even a better sleep. And it's almost like cardio as well, because it does get your heart rate going when you start to sweat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a great way for the muscles to relax. It's just finding all those recovery tools that you need to be able to come back the best version of yourself. And the last one that we tend to really neglect is stress management,
Mm-hmm.
keeping
Yeah.
those stress levels down, right?
Hormone
And
optimization. You can't do it if you're
mm,
stressed.
yeah, exactly. So I know some people get it. I am trying to get into meditation. I find it very hard. I'm like a squirrel, so it's like I see a shiny object or think of something. I'm like, let me go here, let me go there. I have like 10 things on the go. I gotta slow down. So I need
Mm.
meditation.
Mm.
Any tips for me?
Just, box breathing. It's a great thing.
Box
Three
breathing.
seconds in, 3 seconds hold, 3 seconds out, 3 seconds hold. And, that's it. Squirrels. But it is sometimes a 30-second meditation is not a bad thing, right? So, any
Yes.
advice for me?
You know what? It's listening to your body, like
Mm.
finding that place that will bring you joy and peace, that
Yeah.
happiness. So it's funny as we talk about meditation, actually, one of the things I've said recently, I find lifting is my meditation.
Yeah.
It brings me peace. It brings me joy. I don't think about anything except what I'm doing in that particular moment. It's helping
Yeah.
me live in the present that we
Sure.
tend to rob ourselves of very often because we're always thinking like a squirrel
Like a squirrel. Hyper,
running around.
hyper present. Because you can't break
Yeah,
records
yeah.
and you can't get best lifter trophies if you're not hyper present in that moment.
Yeah, and just listening to what my body's doing as I'm
Mm.
under that bar, as the bar's in my hand. Where am I supposed to be feeling? Am I feeling anything off? Like I'm just analyzing everything in that lift. Oh my gosh, just talking about it gets me so excited. How it makes me feel. And I
It's
want that to
addictive,
rub
right?
off.
Yeah.
It's very addictive. It's a good addiction.
Yeah, it's a
But you
very
know what?
unfair
It's
true.
still, you can go either ways, right? There's also the extreme of it. And when I hear people lifting every day, and I'm like, when's your body going to recover? Like, rest is
But
part
that
of the training program.
so I think two things with that I'd like to discuss. Firstly, I think recovery is an indicator. Our commitment to recovery is a commitment to ourself and our self love. The more we prioritize recovery, the more we're showing love to ourselves. But again, and as you said at the beginning, if you're not if you're not looking after yourself, you're not doing the recovery, if you become addicted to your lifting, the bar's going to teach you very quickly that you're overdoing it, because it'll just,
This
you'll
is
see your
true.
numbers come down.
This is so true. Yeah, you won't be hitting the weights the same. And
Yeah.
actually, that's another thing I appreciate my coach. Like, there's some flexibility in my program. So sometimes I'll take a look and I'll try to plan ahead. If I didn't have a good night's sleep and maybe I only had one meal in me, I'll see, can I lift this what's required of me? And if the answer is no, I'm not going to give my best, then I actually change the program and look at
Mm, mm.
maybe a program that's not as high intensity. And I gauge, and even in the moment sometimes, yeah, it's a heavy lift and I was supposed to do X amount of weight, and as I'm warming up, I know, oh no, this is not going to be the day. I don't want to get injured.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm in this for the long haul. So I will scale back and try again next time, right? There's always a next time. But the minute you try and you're not at your best,
Yep.
that next time could be weeks or months later, right?
So,
Because you're focusing on your recovery.
it's, you say there's always a next time. There is always a next time, but the quality of that next time you buy today with how you value yourself. And I think it's such, and I'd like you to talk a little bit more about that, because with your experience in the sport and what you've done, speaking to the younger lifters, where they really, they, if it's programmed, they're doing it. They're not listening. Suck it up, buttercup, and all of it. Although I mustn't say that, there's a sign in my gym, hand painted by a fantastic lifter, Simon Bretsky. I'll just share something about Simon. Simon qualified for internationals. His third, his third comp ever was, his third time
Wow,
ever on platform was Sweden 2019. So, yeah, and
that's pretty
he's a
cool.
shy, down to earth guy, but he hand painted the rules of our gym, and it says there, "Suck it up, buttercup. This is good for you. Sweat dries, blood clot. What? Sweat dries and blood clots. This is good for you." So, but it does come down, and that's the value of a coach, is to say you have to back it off. And I think with a lot of younger lifters, with newer lifters, they have to understand, you buy your M1, M2, M3, M4, M5 passports with how you look after yourself when you're training as a sub junior, as a junior, and as an open lifter. You buy those opportunities to go and compete based on how you look after. And I love what you said, like, you have leeway in your program, and if you have to, you back it off.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's interesting. And I would love to know the statistics of how many of these sub juniors continue until masters, which can go up to forever, right?
Yeah.
There's no age limit. And, I actually read somewhere that the average power lifter has a 5-year career. I'm
Sure.
7 years in, and I started as a master's one, so that's in my 40s. I started at 45, right? But I can see that if you don't take care of yourself and you keep going hard and trying to one rep max at week after
Mm,
week, month after month, I hear some of them. Oh, I'm going to try to PR again. How about we work on technique, quality reps, volume work, and, like, just listen, like, trust the process. This is what I would say to the young ones.
yeah.
Trust your coach. It's so important. They know what they're doing. They're trying to set you up for success so that you are consistently improving. Because sometimes if you deviate from the program, yeah, you might get some gains, but sometimes what happens, you might get a step forward and then you have to end up taking 10 steps back.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go backwards. You want to propel forward. So you got to trust the process. Some of them are, oh, this is boring or this is too light. No, there's a reason that it's a bit boring or it's a
Mm.
little bit lighter. Like training has stages to it. It's not always ride or die. you know, it's like, you got
Yeah.
to keep steady at it,
That
keep steady.
and these programs have been developed over decades by the best minds in the game. And like what I love with the Russians, like everyone who's written a book, well, this Olympic lift, well, he was an Olympic lifter and a triple doctor, which is it's like
Wow.
really,
Yeah.
really smart people that have put the understanding of how the human body works and put the programs together and trusted, but also maybe, and it's a difficult thing to say because you never ever want to jeopardize anyone's coaching career. But if you have a
Hmm.
coach that's not prioritizing your recovery, you may want to look at experimenting with other opportunities and other coaches because everything that we do, you spoke about sleep, every bit of training that you do, every bit of
Hmm.
nutrition, everything, those changes take place when we sleep. And if you're not
Yeah.
sleeping and if you're not resting, and for me, I love this. I haven't lifted heavy or hard since I got COVID. Now, I
Oh.
suspect I got COVID in Sweden in 2019 because I came back and 2 weeks later I was hammered. And it's so funny because we're laughing about this. I couldn't get a 170 kilo deadlift off the ground. And I was going up gently and it was supposed to be 170 or 175 for five, like for nothing, just warming her, having a little bit of
Hmm.
and I couldn't get it up. And I was like, what's going on? Something's not right. And within 2 days, I was wiped out for months. And it's just,
Wow.
you have to protect yourself. You have to listen to your body. And when that happened, when the first one came up and it was so hard, I said, there's something wrong here. I'm going to stop because you damage your heart
Mm.
muscles. You can really put yourself at risk. And listen, I'm not a genius. So as nationals once, I was pulling. I thought, this isn't good. I heard a pop in my back at L4, L5, and I was like, I'm going to keep pulling. That put me out for
Oh
a few years.
no.
So, that
Oh
was, yeah.
no.
I think now it's going to be, I've competed in bench twice. And so this coming year is going to be I'm going to go back to 3 lift now to see how I do because it's necessary. I need it more for my
I'm
soul than I do
excited.
for my body.
Ooh, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's how you can get that holistic wellness, right? Sometimes you
Yeah.
got to focus in on one aspect. And I always say that to people like, focus. There's so many things with powerlifting and all the different lifts and all the different tips and technique. Focus on one thing at a time,
Yeah.
master that, and then move on, right? So I love that you are, taking care of the soul and now it's the body. And I like to also say to people, like, you know, it's important that you put your health first. You prioritize it. You
Mm.
get give the time that is needed to improve your health. Because if you don't, you're going to pay
Yeah.
for your disability,
Yeah.
right? You're going to
Sure.
have to pay for what you need to do to deal with any of these medical conditions that can arise if you don't take care of your body, right? Or
And,
your even your mind.
yeah, that's it. And that goes for overtraining or not training at all.
Amen.
So those that you got to get in the gym. That's the thing. And for me, I've got to
Yeah.
tell you that I like I look at all of you guys and the achievements I'm in awe of and the commitment and but let me just explain where I am right now. I'm laughing because Next year, all I got to do is hit the qualifying target in order to be selected. Okay. I'm not going to worry about
Nice.
winning. I'm not going to worry about placing. I don't care if I come 26th. It's the fun for me is working towards it. Like I've passed the stage of wanting to win and compete. For me, it's just being there.
Hmm.
And then if the opportunity comes that no one wants to go and fill that spot on the team, I can go and have fun. And I don't mind being the name at the bottom of the list because I get to hang out with you guys and I get to do podcasts and I get to lift. And I think I'm in a very, very special spot within powerlifting because I think powerlifters, from what I know as a coach, you get one kind of athlete. I'll compete when I can win. It's like, who do you think you are, Syl? And you know, for the first time, I'll compete when I can win. Now I can say to them, okay, is your surname Atkinson? Um, are you Canadian? Eh? And or the other
I
thing is
like the
just like,
A.
yeah, it's just so much fun, and I love it.
I love that you said that because at the end of the day, it's you versus you.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a competitiveness to powerlifting, but really, it is about you and should only be about you. I don't care about the competitors sometimes, right? I care when they're my
Mm,
colleagues and my
mm,
teammates because that's the other thing that's cool about
sure.
powerlifting.
No,
You
but
compete
you guys proper care.
individually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you compete internationally, you're a team. And it's such a cool thing to experience both in a sport. And I don't know any other sport like that.
Yeah.
But my menopause brain has now allowed me not to remember what I was trying to say.
Don't worry. My ADHD brain is doing the same. So then can I share my point quickly?
Yes, go
You're
ahead.
writing down our Apple notes. So where you said it's you versus you, right?
Yes.
And I love that. Like, and it's a competition. For me, it's not a competition anymore. I'm now going to compete in powerlifting in 3 lifts out as a form of my expression of love for myself because I know the
Mm.
value that it'll bring me. I know, which I'm at such a good point in my life right now. My fantastic, that sounds a bit fancy, but my fantastic tailor, Sam, is here from Hong Kong. We went for lunch. I had an omelette. He had a chicken burger. And, but what I said to him is like, I've dropped so much weight. I've gone down like from 111 to 103 kilos because I was cutting weight for the South African Bench Press Championships. And I'm not prepared to do the
Mm.
hot shower bed, hot shower bed, hot shower, or
Oh
hot bath.
gosh.
Again, forget about it. But now for me, it's at
Mm.
the point of, and so I get excited because this is what I love about this community and I love about chatting with you. I can go to an international if there's no one else in my division who wants to go, and if the
Hmm.
team, the executives see fit to nominate me, knowing that I won't embarrass them, but I can go with no expectation. Like I genuinely believe that I can walk out at an international at the 105 division Master 2 with 125 kilos as my opening squat and go 125, 130, 135, and everyone's going to cheer for me anyway because I'm back on the
Oh,
platform.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
how insane is that for a sport? Isn't that the most wonderful thing?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's magical, right?
Yeah.
Um, actually, I remembered what I wanted to say, and actually hearing you speak about your journey and your next steps, it's a passion. Like, find a passion. If you find a passion, you'll train with a purpose. And, you know, we talked about in the last time we chatted motivation, dedication, and consistency, and all those terms. But when you find a passion, you train with a purpose, you're going to be dedicated to come in and work out at the gym day in and day out. And sometimes the motivation won't be there. But because you this passion that you
Mm-hmm.
have for training, you will show up even when you're not feeling like you want to. And that's, you know,
Yeah,
just a beautiful thing.
sure.
Like that is magical, right?
It's
So,
also epic.
oh
Yeah,
gosh, I stumbled. I blacked out. Yes, epic.
it's
Beep, beep,
epic.
beep, 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 beep.
All right, hang on. We're going to add this one. You ready? Not the baby, man. This is
I
when
love it.
this is when I mention burpees and I get certain faces.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
The crying. That is, you know, it absolutely epic, and something that I just
Mm,
realized. And I'll share something with you that, I mean, it's on my it's quite well known in South Africa. It's on my profile. Sure, this is quite an intense thing. For me, the powerlifting community and powerlifting is a safe space. And
mm,
I came from an abusive background. I was abused as a child, and you
mm,
know, I've been sober for 18 years, and I don't trust easily. And I
mm,
struggle to trust and I struggle to connect. But what I found within powerlifting is a safe space. And just thinking about going and lifting and walking out at 85, whatever it is, on that, you know,
mhm,
and no one's going to judge me, no one's going to laugh, no one's going to point fingers,
mhm,
no one's going, it's 85. Maybe the spotters and loaders will moan because they now got to go from 360 to 85, but it's not my problem.
mhm,
Um, but it's such a safe, wonderful space, the sport of ours,
mhm,
and the community is what makes it that way.
mhm. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And you're right. And we all have our challenges that we're trying to overcome in life. I had my own, you know, tough, I like to say I had multiple psychosocial issues that I've been dealing with over the last 2 years. And I'll say training has kept me in a place that brought me peace and
Mm-hmm.
happiness. I don't, some people call it therapy. I mean, I go to therapy. I think it's important that if you need that help, that you go and
Mm-hmm.
get the help that you need. So I'm in treatment, but I feel like this even supplements it to a different level, right? Finding
Yeah.
something that brings you that happiness. And yeah, even at my gym, have that sense that I can just show up and be my true self and
Mm-hmm.
not be judged, and it's great when you find those spaces. And yeah, even competing internationally. I've done it a few times now, and can what you're saying totally resonates with me too. And I don't feel like anyone's judging. If anything, like when I mean I've failed lifts too, is people feel bad. They're just like, oh, don't worry, you'll get it on the next one, right? They're so encouraging, even after you feel like you let your country down,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's such a great community. I don't, again, how many other sports do people feel that way and can articulate that,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
think sure. And it, I had a thought. I may or may not share it, but maybe the fact that we haven't been an Olympic sport is something that's
Mm,
contributed to it. But I think powerlifting is much more than just that, and the powerlifting community is much more than just that because it's just. I mean, where else in the world? And I think when you speak of therapy, you know, therapy is the
hmm.
coffee, lifting is the chili in your the chili flakes in your coffee,
Ooh,
you know, the chili and
okay.
chocolate in your coffee. So it's it's something that's just so special, and you can have a
Hmm.
community like the what I get. You know, one of the things that I live with constantly as part of my experience as a child, and I was exposed to um, suicide very, very early on. My stepdad shot
Mm.
himself in front of me when I was 4. My mom took her own life when I was 15, 16.
Oh,
And
wow.
in my addiction and in my using, suicide became a very real option because that's what I learned. And
Mm,
it's what I live with on a constant basis. There's always these
Mm.
thoughts, and I can manage them now and understand that what I think and feel has no consequences unless I act on it. But the gym,
Mm-hmm.
even owning the gym and coaching my clients, particularly during COVID and out of COVID, the online was a
Mm-hmm.
huge help. Going back was a, isn't it a wonderful space just to go and be, as you said, who you are? You put down all of those
Yeah.
bags and baggage as you get into the
Yeah.
gym and you just go and be yourself.
Oh my gosh. I love that you said that. And I don't know. Again, my menopause, hormonal. I'm getting emotional
Mm,
because, your story resonates with me. I, you know, had a father who was an alcoholic and had mental
sure,
health issues. And, my mom ended up being really a single parent, and she passed away when I was 16.
sure.
Um, and where I'm going with this is how beautiful powerlifting is because it helped me fulfill a childhood dream. One of the things that my mom and I would love to do, and it was like a bonding moment when the Olympics came on, we would watch it together. And I remember being a little girl, always wanting and had this vision that I'd be a track star, actually. I was into track and field, I was more a sprinter.
Mm, mm.
They called me Tippy Toe Atkinson, actually, right on my tippy toes. But I remember
Sure.
always thinking and dreaming one day the crowd would cheer for me and I will represent Canada. So it was a dream that I had for a very long time, maybe even as I went into university. And then, you know what? I kind of forgotten about it. It wasn't until one day at the gym, someone reminded me that I have that dream to come true again as I compete for Team Canada in powerlifting. And so last year, I won my first world title in Mongolia. And I will never forget standing on that platform and hearing the Canadian national anthem being played, thinking about that childhood dream. And it was such a beautiful moment for me because at age 50 at the time, who would ever think that I would able to take this childhood dream and make it come alive in my 50s? And thank you for allowing me to remember that moment. And that's the joy that powerlifting has brought to me.
Sure. And thank you
So
for
thank you.
sharing that.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think that,
just
yeah,
unbelievable.
sure. I think the more that I have this conversation, the more that I have the other conversations, I'm affirming to my it affirm I'm affirmed or affirming to myself, or realizing that what I was thinking and believing about doing these conversations was correct, because we sit in
Hmm.
a world where people loneliness is a real pandemic, the self-doubt, forgetting
Hmm.
our childhood dreams. And I don't think there's
Right?
anyone out there that hasn't dreamed of putting on, standing on a podium and winning.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I won gold for South Africa in the three lifts in Morocco at Africa Champs 2016, I think. And it was something that was like have your national flag over your shoulder,
Yeah.
and a gold medal around your neck, and your teammates cheering and the audience cheering
Yeah.
it. And isn't it the
In the
craziest
audience,
thing?
all over the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's just,
yeah. When you walk out
eh,
onto the platform, you don't see an audience, and when you get up on the podium,
yeah.
where did you guys come from? You know, it's just
It's
it's
so
yeah,
true.
and everybody
It's so
deserves that
true.
chance to work towards it. And I think
Yeah.
you show the commitment and the effort in the sport
Hmm.
for long enough, you've got a chance on the podium.
You do. You really do. Regardless of what age and
Yeah.
experience, right? And and I guess what I want everyone else to know is like, yeah, okay, that was an athletic goal, dream of
Mm,
mine, but it's just to show you, regardless of what goals you have, never give up, right? Never give up on what you want to do. And
yeah.
sometimes it can look different. Like, yes, I had this goal to be a track and field star, it looks different. Now, like I can say I've been a world champ at powerlifting, but still the similar concept. And sometimes this is what we have to do when we're goal setting is redefine, right?
Mm.
Like analyze, set new goals, tweak them. So, it's not always going to be what we thought. And sometimes it can be even better because what I didn't know as that little girl wanting to be a track star, to be, representing Canada, like I feel like what the sport has allowed me to do is just inspiring. Initially, it was women who are aging to take care of their bodies. We only have
Mm.
one body. And as we age, we lose muscle mass if we don't work at it, if we don't lift heavy. And it's not just the light weights. It's we have to lift heavy to compensate for that because we're more prone to osteoporosis. And I don't want to be 60 and fall down
Mm.
and break a hip. And most of the time that happens, what leads to, unfortunately, you hear the staggering results of how many end up dying, right? It plays a toll on you
Yeah.
mentally when you're not able to be mobile, right? So it's it was to start off. What happened is I wanted to motivate other women, but now it's the youth. I got the best message the other day from a 17-year-old on Instagram, and this is why I do post. So if you're not following me, follow me at Syl.alpha because I'm trying to
You got to go like
document
this.
my
I'll go like
journey.
this. You see there. You go
Yeah.
point out, and I'm going to point up. You see. Yeah. There we go. Okay. That's it.
um,
Yep.
just trying to inspire everyone now to just find out your true strength potential. Just, set a goal, stay active, find your passion, right? And it's kind of neat when a 17-year-old is reaching out to you and saying, "Oh, I find your lifts very inspiring." And then I put, "Not bad for 51-year-old, right?" He's like, "Not bad for any age."
Oh, that's, so here's a question. And I think talking about the goal, track and field, and then to a powerlifting world champion, as we evolve, we should allow our dreams to evolve as well. To
Mm,
understand, well,
mhm.
this is I have opportunity here, let me pursue that rather than going, if I didn't make that back then, there's no point in going after what's new. So pursuing what we want and going after it and digging deep and becoming a world champion. But what, as special as it was to stand on that podium, receive that medal, and hear the national anthem of Canada, um, how special was it to get that message from a kid who's reaching out and saying, wow.
It, I mean, honestly, it just gives me goosebumps because, unfortunately, like, I lost my mom at
Yeah,
15 or
sure.
16 actually, that sometimes you might not get that motivation or inspiration or even thought to set a goal and go after it. So being able to talk to the youth and tell them my story, I don't take that for granted, and
Mm.
that's why I'm always trying to make sure I'm being a bad example, not only to people who are watching me, but even with my own daughter, right? Like I've always tried to say that, you know, living a healthy lifestyle, one of the aspects is exercise, it's movement. And, powerlifting wasn't her thing. She tried though. At 16, she did deadlift 315, which is amazing and like
Okay.
mind-boggling. But she
Yeah.
found her passion in boxing, and that's the thing. Like I just sometimes I wish I had someone who would have tapped me on the shoulder and reminded me, "Don't give up.
Mm.
Okay, it's not track and field, maybe it's something else," right? So it's such a special moment to have had that experience so then I can help others like find their goals and make goals, right? And some people don't even think about doing that as well, right?
Yeah.
I actually write mine down, like, and actually what was interesting is the other day I was looking at, this was 3 years ago that I wrote down that I wanted to, the number one goal, this was 3 years ago, that I wanted to be a world champion. So I did write that down. And there's power to that, right?
Uh, uh, uh.
Love it.
Epic.
Sometimes we gotta write them down.
Yeah.
We should tell our goals to someone else, right? And then that's how you stay accountable too, right?
I'm a
So it's
huge
awesome.
believer in that. In share your goals with people that value you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So they can support you in what you do and where you go and what you want to do.
Exactly.
It's so
Exactly.
important. And I think as you move through your career now, you have a bigger and bigger circle of influence with people that need that example, that inspiration, that guidance, and that leadership, because I think it's sorely
Mm.
lacking just from what I see. It just, you know,
Mm.
I had one of my favorite clients in the gym this morning, Jeff. We call him Big Dog because he's the big dog, and an absolute sweetheart. And we went for breakfast after lifting. Like Sunday at the gym's very chilled. It was mobility and stretching and stuff, and then we go for brekkie because food's important. And I bumped into a client of mine, or she was an old boxing client, a great a recovery counselor. She's written Nikki Munitz. If you can get her book, it's called Fraud, and it's on
Oh.
Amazon. It's on Kindle. It's amazing. Just about her time as in addiction, being addicted to heroin at 14, and the
Mm.
chaos that she caused and how she got her life back. And she's a self-esteem counselor and an addiction recovery counselor. And what we were talking about, how the youth are suffering and struggling so much at the moment with mental health, with self-worth, with self-esteem. And powerlifting, the sport of ours, gives you people that you can aspire to. In the IPF, you look at these amazing lifters, and I'm saying the IPF because that's who I know. But and again, I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying IPF because I go after pick a drug free person to follow, if I could say that. Pick a drug free
Yeah.
mentor, and if you want to, use PEDs and do what you do and go lift in
Mm-hmm.
other federations, that's fine. But I've seen
Yeah,
the
exactly.
I work in rehab centers, and I've seen the effect on kids, where because it's the most, probably even more addictive, because the reason you start it is because something's missing, and then
Mm.
you can't give that up once you've had it. But what Nikki was saying is just with the youth and the mental health challenges, the real pain, and school kids in particular, and maybe a generation of parents who don't have the skills because they want to be friends rather than parents. Powerlifting and coaches in the powerlifting community, like every coach I've spoken to from Great Britain, Ireland, Canada, the
Mm-hmm.
US, all around the world, these incredibly experienced, kind, gentle, connected, hard ass people that'll hold you accountable, because kids want accountability, and this lifting shows a progression. I'm here today. If I work, I will be there tomorrow. If I don't work, I won't be there tomorrow. You know what? Like
Mm-hmm.
the sport, again, it blows my mind in terms of how valuable it is for everyone.
Exactly. That's what I was going to sum it up, regardless of the age, right? Like
Yeah.
exactly that. And especially for the youth to teach them at a young age patience, right? If you are patient and put in the work, the success is endless. And the
Yeah.
sky's the limit, right? And the discipline that it takes and what it's teaching them. And yeah, I found that not only did I get physically stronger, but even mentally, it did help improve my self-esteem. Like I walk around like, I don't know, like with more confidence. When I enter a room and even when I do presentations now, like I'm not the same person. I definitely
Mm.
have evolved, and that's another word you use that I love. Yes, it's endlessly evolving.
Yeah.
is just another beautiful thing that I've seen happen to me in this sport of powerlifting.
Sure. I love,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. We can call it epic evolution. We need a t-shirt.
Epic evolution. I
That's
like
it.
that.
Yeah. And
I
this
gotta write that
sport,
down.
this sport can save your life. You know,
Yes.
I've never ever and I've been lifting for a long time, but never ever the same with martial arts for me. But I've never had a bad day coming out of the gym. I've had bad
Mm-hmm.
days walking into the gym, but never a
Mm-hmm.
bad day leaving the gym, never a bad day in the gym.
It's so true. You leave one way, you enter feeling a certain way, and you leave, I like to say, you're
Mm.
leaving on a high.
You're
Like those
leaving on a high.
endorphins are
Yep.
just all over the place, and you're glowing. And actually, the other day I mentioned that it's like you're walking with an extra pep in your step, right? You're like, yeah,
Yep.
I just did some amazing things. And
Absolutely.
then you're
Like,
going to go home
yeah.
and you're going to be a better partner, a better parent, a better friend, right? So
Yeah.
it's a wonderful thing.
I think we need to make a move to make this compulsory in
Yeah.
in every school. Like that's my goal in this country. And doing
Mhm.
part of this is also helping connect and build with this wonderful community. But South Africa, 50% of our population is under the age of 14, right? We've got a 40
Oh, wow.
plus 40 plus 45, 50. I think in reality it's about 70%, I think, unemployment rate. Don't quote me on the numbers, but massive
Mhm.
unemployment. So we have 30 million people coming through the population chain that are under the age of 14. And I want to get powerlifting. I will, 'cause I'm a tenacious little bugger at
I love
103.4
that.
kilos. Get powerlifting into every school in this country. Because if we can teach the kids that delayed gratification, that working towards something, and above all, that you are capable of more than you genuinely believe. Like as a core
Mhm.
belief,
Mhm.
powerlifting will teach you that your core belief about what you are capable of is wrong because you are capable of much, much more and you can progress through it. And then, you got these kids then that'll be winning medals at provincial level, at club level, at national, at
Mhm.
international. And when you go apply for a job or a scholarship or a bursary and you've got a medal and you've got that certificate,
Mhm.
it shows a commitment to a longer term goal. And
Exactly.
that's it. So I think every single school in South Africa, 25,000 schools, 14, 13,000 of which are functioning. So we'll, that's my,
Wow.
that's my goal. And then
I
I
love
get
that
them
goal.
all to
Write it
vote.
down.
Yeah, no, I got it. Then I get them all to vote for me, and that's how I become president. But
Let's do it.
I know I wouldn't want to be president. There's too much administration. Okay, leave me on the sales side and the idea side. But yeah, it's like that. That's the sport, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's like that's what it means to me.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. I'm with you. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
100%. That's it. Jim Jones, Mark Twight. Jim, that's what it's called, Jim Jones, because salvation is not always drinking Kool-Aid in the jungle.
Gosh.
So Mark
Oh.
Twight was the trainer who trained the guys for 300, the
Mhm.
movie.
300, yeah.
And he
Yeah.
had a gym in Utah called Jim Jones, named
Oh,
after
wow.
Jim Jones. So GYM Jones, because he's saying,
Really?
yeah, it was salvation is not always drinking Kool-Aid in the jungle. And
That
very, very hot.
is.
That's how I discovered him on Twitter. This is how long ago it was. And we
Oh,
connected, and he gave me some really great advice, like unbeep your mind, like as a primary thing. You become who you hang around, and unbeep your
that's right.
mind. Which is very, very solid advice. So yeah, it's don't drink. The Kool-Aid's a big thing, but whose Kool-Aid are you willing to drink? Because
That's
that's
it.
also the thing. Drink the good Kool-Aid. Drink the Kool-Aid that's at the gym. That find your heroes and model yourself
Yeah.
on them. Pick
If it
pick their
doesn't
best
bring you
traits.
joy,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
so
Yeah.
here's a tough question. Well, not a tough question, but I suppose for some it could be. What are the 5 traits that you have, or 5 of your traits that you have, that you feel would benefit young lifters in following and emulating? How's that for putting you on the spot, Syl? Like, really,
Seriously.
dude?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
On a Saturday, no, Saturday, Sunday was no longer morning.
Yep. Sunday-ish.
Uh, well, definitely, in terms of what the sport has done for me, is
Mhm.
that what you
No,
wanted
so
me to tell the tell the
what do
tell
you
the youth?
do that's made you a champion?
Oh, you know what? It's planning. Being able to plan to succeed in not only setting a goal or following your program, but planning your day to make sure that you can get the lift or your program or your session in.
Sure.
And sometimes I even like schedule it like an appointment. Like you make an appointment with your doctor, you make an appointment to go to the bank. You don't cancel those things, so don't cancel this appointment. So
Love
it's
that.
planning is so critical. And just being consistent. Consistency is definitely key. No excuses. Get it done, right? So it's just leads me to, I guess, the next point is being dedicated. You gotta dedicate your time, energy, right? Like, and that's the thing, like finding your passion, right? You find that passion and you will be dedicated to whatever it is, right? And, I think the other thing is that mental toughness. My goodness, that is something that I've had to tap in quite a few times. Because, yes, fatigue is going to set in. Um, Sometimes you're going to have those multiple competing priorities. And it's like, how do I juggle all that? So mentally, you have to have that strength to be able to um, get everything done, and prioritization is another critical thing. Like, you need to know some things you're going to have to prioritize over another thing, like I know I have a heavy program. I'm not going to go out the night before and go drinking with my friends or buddy or go to the club, right? You're going to go to bed early to make sure you're able to have that restful sleep and to be able to show up and give your best effort into that program. So prioritization is another critical thing. And that was 5 on the spot. Yikes.
Those were absolutely epic. Sure. Wow. I'm speaking. No, you said it so succinctly that it was just boom, and that's it. And that's the mindset. But it's simple and apply it. There's a great expression in recovery. It's easy if you work it hard. It's hard if you work it easy. So the simple things,
Mm.
they're simple to do. Well, they're simple in concept, but they're hard to do. But if you work them hard, they become simple. That
Yeah.
same thing, it's just about apply it. That's it. And I love that schedule time, because it's scheduling time for
Mm.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
Everything else is about everything else. This is about you and for you. And don't
Hmm.
expect to be a champion, even if you have everything, because you can't outwork bad
Hmm.
scheduling.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love
Plan
that.
to succeed. If you don't
Yeah.
plan, you will fail,
Fail.
right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't plan to fail, but we fail to plan.
Yes, that's the
That's what
saying I
was
was thinking
drilled
about
into
too.
me in insurance when I was that. Yeah, but it is. It just plan and like take the take the decision making away.
Hmm.
I'm using a lot of my recovery analogy here, but if I'm sitting in the bar with a beer in my hand, deciding whether to drink it or not, because
Hmm.
you know I'm sober, but now I'm in a bar with a beer in my hand, trying to decide, it's too late. I've lost. Don't give yourself the decision when you to go and train or not. Don't
Hmm.
discuss that. That's not. It's scheduled. You go and get it done.
Exactly.
And then afterwards you can say,
Exactly.
was it a good idea or bad idea? And go to bed early. Go and early on.
Yeah.
Another thing for the kids that I know will benefit young men in South Africa, and I'm sure everywhere in the world, have egos. Young men from
Mm.
challenged backgrounds and communities have
Hmm.
egos as defense mechanisms. Best way to keep kids off the streets is have their friends deadlifting more than them,
Hmm.
because I want to
What?
be in the gym deadlifting, because if I'm not here today, he's going to do better than me. And I'm not going to have
Yeah.
that. I will not tolerate that.
Exactly.
So, that's such great, great, great advice. And I'm so happy we're recording this in Zoom so we can get the the breakdown and I can put it into the show notes,
That's
which is
awesome.
epic. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time.
My
Thank you
pleasure,
again.
as always.
Yeah, people are going to reach
Really
out. It's like,
fun.
can't you guys do this every Sunday?
Yeah, I feel like we're on that schedule.
We're on this. It's on the schedule. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. And I think next year you guys have got Commonwealth.
Yes, yes.
So
I'm
I'm
excited
saving
about
up. I'm
that.
coming to visit. I think I
Are
can't
you?
not. I
Oh
have
my
to. Yeah, for
goodness.
sure. I'll see if I can get
I think
a
it's in
speaking part.
Winterpeg.
Yes. Winterpeg, not Winnipeg. Winter. Is it that bad? Oh
It's
no.
cold.
Oh, jeez. Colder than my ex? No, I mean, not ex-wife, by the way.
Okay.
Definitely not my ex-wife. No,
Oh,
we got a very good relationship. I'm very fortunate for that.
that's
So
good because
yeah,
this is being recorded.
yeah, and going out live. She gave me an opportunity after the divorce to still have a relationship with my stepkids. Greatest gift I've
Nice.
ever got in my life, ever,
Oh, that's beautiful.
ever, ever,
That's
ever.
beautiful.
I'm very
I
spoiled.
love
Yeah.
that.
So no, she's
I
very
love
cool,
that.
and hopefully you'll get to meet her and say, "Why are you not in the gym lifting again?" I go, "Nah,
Tell her to
Dad."
follow me, Syl Alpha.
Yeah, yeah, done. I'm gonna do that. Okay, cool.
Will
And
she
you
be
can
there in
bully
South
her.
Africa?
She'll be here. I'm gonna get her down there in Cape Town. Yeah, she'll be here as well. So
Okay,
yeah, so
I'm
at least
excited.
we'll see you where it's warm, and then where it's cold.
That's right.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be epic. So
I'm
oh
excited to see you again in October.
yeah, it's gonna be so cool. I'm growing my hair so I can challenge the fro.
I put it up today,
Yeah,
so you wouldn't feel so bad because last time it
epic.
was all out. Yeah.
Which is so no, I love it. Like this, my nickname in primary school was Big Head
Yeah.
because I had a
Big
fro
head.
that was out here like this. So yeah,
I remember.
got to embrace it.
I love that you rocked it out. Yeah, I embraced. It's so funny.
It was the 70s. No,
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm still rocking my fro,
so
but
cool. Yeah.
I remember someone asked me, "Did you cut your hair?" It'll be at the beginning of the week. I'm like,
Mm-mm.
no, because black hair, you only can wash it once a week, right?
Yeah.
Because it's dry to begin with. But as the week progresses, it gets bigger and bigger. It's like chia pet. It's
Yeah.
like it just keeps growing
It's
over
fro
time.
freedom.
Oh, now we need to do a podcast about hair, clearly.
Excellent. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. What I am thinking about, and I'll chat to you about it as well, but I'd like to get some other lifters involved as well, like people that have a special connection to the sport. If you're up and just have a group
I
discussion,
got
I
you.
think it would be really
Oh, a
valuable.
group discussion, like a
Yeah.
panel. I
Mm,
love that idea. Yes,
awesome.
that will elevate it.
Is
Yeah.
there
Bring a
anyone that,
different experience.
yeah, is there anyone you know that we should chat to or you'd like to get onto the panel? The group calling people out
Um,
now.
yeah, I would love to. You need to reach out to Iron Sisters. what
Okay.
they've done with the sport of powerlifting has just been phenomenal. And
Epic.
I've
I will
partnered
do
up
that.
with her too. Actually, when I was in Arizona for North Americans, another powerlifter and I got so inspired to create a company called Forever Strong Fitness, just to help women, yeah, get strong. And so I do online training, some group classes as well, and we partnered up with Iron Sisters early in the year. So I think they would be my business partner, and Iron Sisters will be great to have on the
Done.
panel. Yeah,
That'll be epic. Let's do it.
yeah.
All right, cool. We'll
I will
organize it.
send you her info.
Thank you. I would appreciate that. We'll go like, Iron Sisters, freeze, you're on the show. Let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
That'll be very cool. Any excuse to use my sound effects. Okay.
All
Don't mind
good.
me. Don't mind me. So epic chatting to you. Thank you again. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Likewise. Talk to you soon.
You got it. Alrighty. Let me go and and then we will chat to you very soon. And Iron Sisters. So thank you for joining us. Guns.
Take care.
Excellent. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Wait, hang on. There's the end button. All right, toodles. Got it. Okay, cool. Anyway, stepping off a live podcast and okay, let me just hide those. Excuse me. And all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everyone on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And tomorrow we've got something very, very cool. Firstly, a big thank you to Syl. Incredible conversation. Absolutely, absolutely love it. Really enjoy speaking to her. Hopefully we can maybe make this a regular thing and bring on some guests as well. That'll be very cool. Tomorrow afternoon, 12 o'clock, we got South African lifter Laura Lee. And then at 6 p.m., all of these times are GMT +2. We have South Africa powerlifting legend, strongman and true gentleman, Jean Arthur Pretorius. So join us then on the podcasts. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for your thumbs up and your hearts. We greatly appreciate it. Please always let us have your comments. We love to hear from you. And really, we do this for you. If you would like to share your powerlifting story here on the Emet Media podcast, whether it's in South Africa and you're preparing for nationals on our road to SA's 2025 series, or just about your normal powerlifting journey, or if you have a sport that you would like to talk about and share, drop us a DM, get in touch on 074-403-1234. That's a South African WhatsApp number. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to share your story. Have an amazing night, and we'll see you tomorrow live here from the Emet Media Studio in Johannesburg. I'm Nicholas Ingle. Oos. We love you guys.